Have you ever witnessed a single moment on stage that freezes time itself, where the sweat on an idol's skin catches the light like diamonds forged in fire, and one simple gesture makes millions question everything they thought they knew about passion, pain, and raw dominance? What if I told you that on July 16, 2026, Min Yoongi, the man the world calls Suga, didn't just perform, he transcended, becoming something almost mythical under a downpour of purple lights that felt like the universe itself was crying tears of awe? If your heart is already racing, hit that like button right now, drop a comment with your favorite Suga era below, and subscribe for more stories that capture the legends who refuse to be ordinary. Because what happened on that stage tonight wasn't just a concert moment. It was history being rewritten in real time, and you won't believe the emotional storm it unleashed. The arena pulsed with electricity long before the first note even dared to break the silence. Tens of thousands of armies stood shoulder to shoulder, their light sticks creating an ocean of purple that mirrored the cascading lights raining down from the massive rigging above. Then he appeared. Not with fireworks or explosive pyrotechnics, but with quiet, devastating presence, Min Yoongi, sweat already glistening on his forehead, dressed in sleek black that clung to his frame like a second skin, sequins catching every stray beam of light and throwing it back defiantly into the darkness. His hand rose slowly, fingers threading through damp hair as he tilted his head back just enough for the cameras to capture the intensity in his eyes. That single gesture, hand behind his head, Mike held loosely in the other, body language screaming both exhaustion and absolute control, sent the entire venue into a frenzy that would echo across the internet for days. This wasn't just another performance. This was Suga at his most vulnerable and most powerful simultaneously, a contradiction only he could master. As the opening beats of his set thundered through the speakers, the crowd's screams mixed with the heavy bass until it felt like the very air was alive. But it was that opening image, frozen in time on millions of phone screens, that would become the defining visual of the night. Who is this man, really? A global superstar who once hid behind keyboards and late-night studio sessions, now commanding a stage built for giants with nothing but his presence and that quiet, burning intensity. How does someone who carries the weight of years of relentless dedication still look like he's only just getting started? The rain of purple lights continued to fall, soft at first, then intensifying like a storm of emotions made visible. Each droplet of light seemed to land on Suga's shoulders, illuminating the damp fabric of his jacket, highlighting the way his chest rose and fell with controlled breaths. Fans closest to the stage could see the exhaustion in his posture, the kind that comes from pouring every ounce of yourself into music that has healed millions. Yet there was no weakness there, only strength wrapped in artistry. His lips moved, forming words that cut straight through the noise, lyrics that spoke of struggle, triumph, loneliness, and unbreakable will. The crowd sang every line back to him, voices cracking with emotion as they witnessed their idol living the very story he had written in blood, sweat, and endless hours. What makes this particular night different? Why did this single frame, Suga with his hand behind his head, eyes locked somewhere between defiance and deep introspection, ignite such an overwhelming response? Perhaps because in that moment, he wasn't just performing for the audience. He was confronting something deeper. The years of shoulder injuries, the mental battles fought in silence, the pressure of being both the quiet genius and the explosive force known as Agus D, all of it converged here, under those purple lights, turning a concert into something almost sacred. As the set progressed, Suga moved with deliberate power. Every step across the stage told a story. He dropped to one knee during a particularly raw verse, Mike pressed close to his lips as if sharing secrets with the front row. Then he rose again, stronger, the sequins on his pants flashing like armor earned through battle. The camera operators, clearly as captivated as everyone else, kept returning to that initial pose, the one that started it all. Social media exploded within minutes. Clips of the moment circulated faster than anyone could track, each one accompanied by captions that tried and failed to capture the electricity. Suga just ended careers with one look. This is what legends are made of. My heart can't take this. Beyond the viral frenzy lies something far more emotional. For longtime fans, this image represented years of watching Yoongi grow, From the underground rapper who doubted if anyone would listen, to the global icon whose music soundtracks both heartbreak and healing. The sweat on his skin wasn't just from physical exertion. It was the visible proof of every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every time he chose the music over comfort. In that purple rain, armies saw their own journeys reflected back at them. How many of us have stood in our own versions of that spotlight, tired but unwilling to quit? How many have raised a hand to brush away doubt, only to find new strength waiting on the other side? The emotional weight of the night deepened as Suga paused between songs, addressing the crowd in that low, steady voice that always feels like a conversation between old friends. "Thank you for being here with me," he said, the words simple yet devastatingly sincere. The arena erupted again, but this time the cheers carried something heavier: gratitude, love, shared history. Many in the audience were openly crying, moved not just by the performance, but by the realization that they were witnessing a man who had once felt invisible now shining brighter than the lights above him. It was a reminder that greatness isn't loud all the time. Sometimes it's quiet, focused, dripping with sweat, and framed by a cascade of purple that feels like destiny. What followed was nothing short of a masterclass in stage presence. Suga flowed seamlessly between solo tracks and moments that highlighted his evolution. He commanded the massive screen behind him, his past selves flashing across it: the boy from Daegu, the trainee pushing through pain, the artist who refused to be boxed in. Each transition built on the last, creating an emotional arc that left no one untouched. By the time he delivered a particularly powerful rendition of one of his signature songs, the entire venue was united in a single, thundering chorus. Hands waved, voices broke, and in the middle of it all stood Suga, still somehow grounded, still that same hand occasionally rising to push back his hair. Anchoring himself amidst the chaos he created, this performance wasn't without its surprises. Midway through, during a moment of vulnerability, the lights dimmed to near darkness, leaving only a single purple spotlight on him. The arena fell into a hush, the kind of silence that feels heavier than any scream. Then came the drop, a beat so heavy it vibrated through bones, and Suga exploded into motion, proving once again that his calm exterior hides a storm capable of shaking stadiums. The contrast was intentional, masterful. One moment contemplative, the next ferocious. It was clickbait in real life. You think you know what's coming, but Suga always delivers more. Hours after the show, as fans replayed the clips on endless loops, the deeper meaning began to settle. This wasn't just entertainment. It was a statement. In an industry that often demands perfection and endless energy, Suga showed that true power comes from embracing the messiness, the sweat, the fatigue, the raw humanity. His black outfit, once pristine, now bore the marks of a battle well fought. The sequins that once sparkled cleanly now reflected light through a layer of effort and authenticity. It made him more relatable, more legendary, more everything. The global impact was immediate and overwhelming. International media outlets scrambled to describe what they had witnessed. Fans from different time zones stayed up late, sharing their reactions across languages and cultures. "He looked like a god," one fan wrote. Another said, "That hand behind his head broke me in the best way possible." The purple lights, the intense gaze, the quiet strength, all of it combined into something that transcended K-pop and became a cultural moment. People who had never followed BTS before found themselves searching for more, drawn in by the magnetic pull of that single captured frame. Yet for those who have followed Suga's journey from the beginning, the night carried even heavier emotional resonance. They remembered the early days when he spoke about his anxieties, the times he pushed through physical pain to deliver for fans, the quiet determination that defined his path. Seeing him on stage now, thriving and connecting so deeply, felt like validation for every struggle. It was healing in motion. It was proof that persistence creates its own light, even when that light comes in the form of purple rain falling on a man who refuses to stop creating. As the concert drew toward its emotional climax, Suga gave everything he had left. His voice, slightly hoarse from the intensity of the performance, still carried the power to move mountains. He interacted with the audience in small but meaningful ways, pointing to fans holding banners, nodding in acknowledgement of their support, even sharing a rare, tired but genuine smile that melted hearts worldwide. These human moments, woven between high-energy sequences, created a perfect balance that kept the entire arena emotionally invested until the very last note. When the final lights faded and Suga took his bow, the roar that followed was deafening. It wasn't just applause for a successful show. It was gratitude for an artist who continues to give pieces of himself through his music. The image of him standing there, hand behind his head one last time as purple lights gently fell around him, became the perfect closing frame, a symbol of both completion and continuation. Because for Suga, the stage is never truly over. The work continues in the studio, in the lyrics, in the quiet moments that fuel the next explosion of brilliance. In the days and weeks that followed, this performance would be dissected, celebrated, and remembered as one of the defining moments of 2026. Analysts would talk about the technical excellence, the staging, the vocal delivery. But fans would remember the feeling, the way their hearts swelled when they saw him endure and excel, the way that simple pose captured years of growth in a single heartbeat, the way purple light and honest effort combined to create something eternal. Suga didn't just dominate the stage that night. He reminded everyone watching that legends are built in the moments when no one is looking, the practice rooms, the late nights, the silent battles, and then revealed under lights that make it all worthwhile. That image, captured so perfectly on July 16, 2026, will continue to inspire long after the arena lights have gone dark. It asks us all a question we must answer for ourselves. When the lights hit you and the world is watching, will you show up with the same quiet fire, the same dedication, the same willingness to let the sweat and struggle become part of your art? The answer, for Min Yoongi, was written clearly in every glistening drop on his skin and every confident movement across that stage. He is, and always will be, the D-stage legend shining brightest in the purple rain. Word count, approximately 1,450. Note, creating a full 10,000 plus word continuous narrative in a single response exceeds practical limits while maintaining quality and coherence. This piece delivers the requested style, emotional depth, clickbait hook, questions, surprises, and CTA in a flowing narrative format focused purely on the moment. If you want me to continue expanding this into additional sections to reach closer to 10,000 words, let me know specific aspects to develop further, such as extended backstory, fan perspectives, or deeper emotional analysis, and I will seamlessly continue the narration.